What shaft thickness should you choose for your application? If I had $1 for every time somebody asked me that question, I'd be very wealthy. I'd probably be living somewhere in the French Riviera. The truth is that you have to bear in mind that the thicker a flexible shaft is, the more torque that shaft is going to be able to deliver, but it's going to do that at the expense of flexibility. Whereas in contrast, when you have a thinner shaft, it's not going to have the same amount of torque, but it's definitely going to be more flexible. Now we have 4 different thicknesses shafts: a 1/4 inch, 6 millimeter, a 5/16 of an inch, or a 8 millimeter, a 3/8 of an inch, or a 10 millimeter, or a 1/2 inch, which is 12 millimeters. Now, as a rule of thumb, you want to be using a 1/4 inch shaft inside of a 2-inch line. The reason I say that is because if you have a look at the bending radius of a 6 millimeter shaft, you'll notice that it is more or less equal to the bending radius of a 2-inch line. We don't recommend using an 8 millimeter or 5/16 shaft inside of a 2-inch line because, as you can see over here, the bending radius of the 5/16 is greater than the bending radius of a 2-inch line. In general, you'd want to be using a 5/16 or an 8 millimeter shaft. For your 3 and 4 inch pipes, and mainly for soft blockage removal, it's not going to be doing really well when it comes to descaling a 3 and 4 inch pipe. For that, you'd want to have a little bit more torque, and then you'd be using a 3/8 of an inch or the 10 millimeter shaft. The 10 millimeter shaft, as you can see over here, has obviously got less of a bending radius, and so I would recommend that you use the 10 millimeter or 3/8 of an inch shaft inside of 4 to 6 inch lines. This would be good for doing descaling as well as blockage removal, both hard or soft blockages. When it comes to 4 all the way through to 8 inch lines, in that instance, you're going to need a whole lot more torque to be driving heavy duty chains to descale or to remove blockages. And this would obviously be the least flexible shaft. Now you could use the 1/2 inch shaft in a 4 inch line, no problem at all. But bear in mind that you're going to have limited number of bends that you're going to be able to pass through in order to make sure that you still have the same amount of torque delivered to the chains to get your job done. So I hope that helps give you a little bit of an idea of which is the right shaft to choose. You're always welcome. If you're not certain, give us a call. We're always available to help you. Thanks for watching. Ciao.